गुड मॉर्निंग फ्रेंड्स। आज हम अपने टॉपिक में देखेंगे कि यूजुअली रिसर्च करते वक्त या करने से पहले मिनिमम एक रिसर्चर की एक बड़ी रिसर्चर की प्रिपरेशंस क्या होनी चाहिए और रिसर्च स्टार्ट करने से पहले उसे किन किन चीज़ों के ऊपर ध्यान देना चाहिए। There are certain points where he has to give some emphasis. That is the reason the universities or the centers which is having PhD programs kept 6 months or 1 month research work program. That gives you a basic idea about how research goes. What is the research process? What additional skills you require apart from your subject knowledge? Because in research, when you talk about a research, it is actually a scientific investigation. So whatever you do in your research work, basically that has to go through a certain process frame which is already defined. So in that methodology, that techniques, that mathematics, that approach you need to understand, and then only you should begin your research work so that you should reach a proper desired result through your research work. Otherwise, what happens if you ignore this? Basically 90 to 99% people ignore the importance of pre-research work programs or schedules organized by the various PhD centers and the universities. They doesn't give a serious ear to this kind of a workshops or programs, and later on they face problems while carrying out their research work, because with a single kind of deviation your whole research result will be get diverted to a different angle. Like in engineering, if you have a small error at the ground level while erecting a certain statues, when it reaches to the top position, it definitely deviates from a decided center. Similarly, like suppose if you want to erect a certain kind of a pillar which is on ground level, if there is an error of joining of these parts each other, then if this is the center and this is the center, and if there is a micromillimeter error of joining of this each part, the ultimate result may appear like this. This is the center. Similar thing happens in research. If you ignore this certain required, you can say that etiquette or preliminary basic preparation. In that, first thing, to have a research mindset. If you don't have this, only for the purpose of a qualification or only for the purpose of a benefits, academic or financial, anything kind of that, you will not get a proper satisfaction out of your research. At some certain point, you might get depressed, disturbed. So, first you should have a firm mindset with respect to research. Then, at least good base work of your subject. It means you should clear about your subject, what you are going to do with respect to that subject. You should have quite good knowledgeful. Okay, you have understood. Then third, you should frame proper research topic or research title. The most important part of a research. If you made mistake at this point, then you will never meet a desired result of your research. Because in research, if suppose your research title contains A, B, C, D, F. These words, this is a combination of your whole statement. Okay. So every word has definite meaning in your research work, and around this only you have to do your whole research study. You cannot just put for a fantasy, for a time being, any loose word with respect to your title or research topic. Because whatever investigations, whatever hypothesis, whatever calculations, whatever techniques is being applied is decided by this part. So this is very, very, very important. And there are several methods to come to the final research title which you need to understand. एक ही बार आपने टाइटल सोच लिया ऐसा नहीं होता है. आपके दिमाग में कोई आइडिया आई, आपके दिमाग में कोई इशू आया, उसके बारे में आपने एक सेंटेंस लिखा. That sentence has to have a scientific way of statement which can be used for a scientific testing. So ये टाइटल डिसाइड करते वक्त you have to go through number of things. Plus first thing, whether it is really talking about the issue which you are encountering or which you are trying to investigate. Is that being resonating by this title? Then you have to do literature search, you have to investigate literatures or publish knowledge. Through that you have to understand whether somebody has studied or not. If studied, then at what parameter, at what perception it has been studied, at what angle it has been studied, and then you have to see that whether your angle is a similar or a different, so that it is really required for further research work or not. Then a literature search gives you a research gap, means what exactly you have to frame or go for a research, and then you decide the final research title. After this process, on the basis of this, you have to frame objectives. See, research is always objective based. It is not subjective. It always has a purpose of a society or a purpose of a phenomenon. It is not for an individual satisfaction, basically. Understood? So, you need to understand what are objectives and how it has to be defined. Then on this basis of objectives, there comes hypothesis. That gives you the further actual direction of your research work. So, what is a hypothesis? How it has been stated, or how it has been created, or how it has been framed, that has to be learned. Then these hypotheses are we tested on different methods. So, this is the first part of a research till research hypothesis, from title to research hypothesis. Okay. In the second part, it goes from research design to the writing conclusion. Okay. The next part we'll see in next video. Thank you.